On our way over to the barn. It is Saturday morning here in Ontario. What a great night we had last night. What a great night we had last night at the Christmas dinner. Yeah, you're a sneaker. What about tell everybody what else? What was yesterday, Addie? You're what? And how old you turn? Like 9?
5.
You're 5 now?
Yep.
And what did you get for your birthday?
I see a horsey and a bike.
A bike? Oh my goodness. So, twofold. It was Addie's birthday yesterday, and we also had our Christmas open house. So, a lot of joy to end off. I guess it's coming to the end. My favorite season in the entire world is coming to the end. So, we'll have to wait for November 1st next year for it to start all over again. So, a very remedial day yesterday. Some disappointments. Won the drive on Patrick DePerana. I touched on that, and it's not going to be the last time I get caught trying to put a horse in a position that he's not going to fit into. That round peg in a square hole, it happens sometimes, and I have to do my best to try to avoid those situations. But I know in the back of my mind the way the race played out. If I get in the 4-hole, who knows? Now, the way that Patrick scoped after and the way the race went, it wouldn't have mattered. He would have been last anyway, but I don't know that going into the first turn. Nevertheless, it was a low percentage move that ended up with a large amount of disappointment, and all of it lumped on my shoulders, but that's the way it goes. That's racing. So we'll endeavor to do better next time. He came out of the race fine otherwise. A little bit of sickness, a little bit of blood in there, but he'll get a week off, and then we'll clean him up, and away we go. Stay Close race good again, continues to race good. I had a client message me last night and said, I know you're mentioning moving a bunch of ordinary horses, and we will over the next week. Every horse in our barn that looks like it isn't or will not do moving forward is going to be up for sale. We need those stalls desperately. And I'm not going to blame Commando Tom because he had the 8-hole last night. He's going to get his chance on Wednesday. I'm driving him. He's got the inside post. Yes, he's back in 5 days, but he's going to be raced. And Halakai, it looks like that class, a combination of maybe a little tired at the end of the year and that class being a little tough. But truthfully speaking, we've had a great run with Halakai, and she'll likely be leaving us. The only way that What a Mission could save himself last night from probably finding himself on that list, again, was to make a break, and that is doubly disappointing because the break was made at the gate, and then he was entered in to go Wednesday with the rail. Again, probably would have been the favorite, and now will have to be subsequently scratched from that race, and that's upsetting, but not much we can do about that. Jason told me after he thought his feet and his knees were quite sore last night. Not like lame, but racehorse, he was sore, and that's always been his issue. His feet are sore, and if they get to a certain point, his knees start to get sore. So he's at a point now. The track was hard the last 2 weeks there, I believe. We just need to address it. So we'll do that with What a Mission over the next week. That was only part of it. We had the bad drive on Patrick DePerana. Stay Close race good, and as I was saying, somebody said, well, what about some of the horses that are fringe players? Stay Close is eventually going to need a rest, isn't he? He's getting a little bit tired. Is he not a horse that might be worth looking at on the open market? I guess yes, and I do appreciate those emails because sometimes I get zeroed in on something, right? Got to move the horses that aren't going to do, but I forget that there's other aspects to buying and selling horses. So I do appreciate the note, especially from the client that sent it. It does make sense, and it is something I'm going to be thinking about over the next week. So we'd Stay Close, so race good again. Patrick DePerana, who got a bad drive. Then Park Slope. Now, Park Slope was bought to be a broodmare. Steve was right. He said, in hindsight, we maybe shouldn't have left Northfield with her. And I just thought at the time, making her, taking her to a 5/8 where they raced for more money, it looked like a great class for her. That was the spot she should be. And I was wrong. She made a break her first start at the gate, and then ended up racing her second start, bled, was put on Lasix, and then last night had the 9-hole. It just unfortunate situation, but we're literally running out of time, and I think the open condition race because now she's losing some allowance. I don't really want to tag her now. So now she's losing some allowance. She may have to win the open side of that. It's a little tougher at Dayton than it is at Northfield or one sec, sweetheart. Than it is at Northfield or Adeline. Than it is at Northfield or the Meadows. So that was Park Slope. Then we got the What a Mission making a break. So my night was, I didn't want to watch any more races we were in because I knew that we had Halakai. I knew that who was up in a class where we didn't know if she could do or not. We were hopeful. Had an inside post. We knew she was going to get a different. Adeline. I know, sweetheart. Can we sing that song another time? You think? So Halakai, we were just waiting to see if she could do in there. We knew she'd get a good trip. And sure, we could draw blood. Her liver might be a little elevated, as a few of them are right now. She might have shown a little bit of sickness, but ultimately, when you go on the track out of the 2-hole, I've said this a million times. If you're going on the track, your morning line's 15-1. Your odds are high, and then you don't have a great result. Tough class to be in, and when that's the class that you have to race in, honey, when that's a class that you have to race in, it makes it tough. Commando Tom, I'll give the horse a break because he had the 8-hole. He doesn't have the 8-hole on Wednesday. He's back in. I'm driving him on Wednesday, and he's going to be raced on Wednesday. So we'll see what Commando Tom is all about. Is he going to be able to do in those classes, or is he just in a little bit over his head? We will see soon enough. Same goes for Warwi Yuri also. I've stuck up for this horse for 2 full years. I've stuck up for Warwi Yuri. And if he can't do in the classes he's needed to do in, he certainly didn't look like he was an active participant last night. Again, drew in a better spot on Wednesday, and those horses are going to be raced on Wednesday pretty hard. Not that they weren't, but it's hard to ask Jason Merriman to race Commando Tom in an aggressive way out of the 8-hole. It's much easier to ask Anthony to do it out of the 3-hole. And that's exactly what's going to take place on Wednesday. So all those horses I just talked about, the horses that are in between, can they do, can they not do? The ones that have proven they can't will be moving. Any horses that look like they can't do will be moving. It will be a very fluid situation at the barn over the next 2 weeks. So what else do we want to talk about, honey? We have Gypsies racing today at Dayton. Swinging Senorita is racing. She's not ours anymore. I'm going to tell Curtis she's not ours anymore. We sold Senorita.
Why?
Because she's going to go be a mummy.
Why?
Because now she's raced till she's the end of her 3-year-old season, and she's going to go be a mummy.
Is she a girl?
Yeah, she's a girl. How's she going to be a mummy?
Is she going to have a baby?
Yes, she's going to have a baby next year.
Oh,
So,
She's
Sanina,
going to have a baby.
not for a year. Sanina and Jeff are going to breed her. I wonder who they're going to breed her to. I meant to ask her and I forgot. And then, of course, tonight we have Spitfire Overseas Racing. Another 9-hole. Not a great weekend for us. Delicious Stone DK is in a 6-hole with a 7-horse field. Lauren will be driving Delicious Stone DK, so I'm excited to watch that race. I think he's in a good spot tonight. Hey, Chatterbox, I'm doing a video. You see the video? You see that? Yeah. So stop your talking, you turkey.
How long are you going to be?
A couple of seconds. And then Think of Galaxies is racing tonight, but again, tough spot for her to be in with the 7-hole. It gives me pause also with Think of Galaxies. The Open Fillies and Mares is not... Adeline! Shh! The Open Fillies and Mares is not filling at the Meadows right now. And when you win one race at Northfield, we end up with the 8-hole, then we draw the 7-hole. So it's not really conducive to us doing well there. I'm a little frustrated, to be honest, over the whole situation with her. Then I happened to look up the other day and saw how well she was bred. Here's a filly mare that we had bought just to be a horse, and she has far exceeded our expectations. Raced in the Opens, won the Open 4... Honey, don't do that. Won the Open 4 times, I believe. And quite frankly, I think... You, stop being a turkey. Quite frankly, worth a lot of money as a broodmare also. I don't really know on the pacing side, you can never tell, but she keeps drawing the outside and having classes not fill. there may be a discussion there also. So our job for this winter, in case everybody is wondering, is to find horses that can compete on a regular basis. I don't care if they're in the open, or if they're in the Nommers of 2, up to Nommers of 4, Nommers of 7, or if they're claimers. We need horses that are going to compete regularly. The horses that cannot be put in a consistent and competitive place, there is going to be discussion about all of those horses, of whether we're going to keep them around or move them on. So that will be the note of the day. Really, really happy with the turnout last night, and happy to get to connect and talk and have a good dialogue with a number of clients that we don't always get to see. And it's great. This is my favorite season is coming to an end, so it's a very disappointing time for me. But at the same token, so great. It was the greatest, I think, Christmas season ever for me was this year. Had a wonderful time. I hope you guys did too. We'll talk to you all very soon. We have a lot of videos to do today. This is today's video. We've still got the weekend videos to do. I saw that when we're done. Amy and I are going to do the videos this week, all of them together.